Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So there's something you really shouldn't be sleeping on, and that is getting one particular gear piece. I personally thought wouldn't be much of a big deal, but I've gone back and obtained it and actually tested it, and it is these arms, the Astral Raiders. You can get them on any class. And well, they're a lot more powerful than I thought they were. They claim they can give you up to 20% bonus damage when your total item level is being scaled down. We can check that out, for example, jumping into some random content here. And when we go check back on our character, you can see our item level has been set to 41,000. You can see your item level is blue, and when you tooltip it, it'll say exactly what the item level is. And checking the arms, you can see they've gone and now give us a 20% damage bonus. But you may also notice the number beside that, 1241. And you'll note it will change a lot depending on what content you're in and to what level you're scaled. And yes, that is because these arms give you base damage and not actually bonus damage. Bonus damage would be something like the Neverwinter Night, giving me outgoing damage. The Rage of Flames, giving me total damage. It's very inconsistent with the tooltips, but these arms actually give this damage here. And they should say it. They should say like modified by items and should say plus how much. Because these arms don't actually show correctly on the tooltip either how much they give us. If we look at the exact math, we're at 41,000 item level. We should have a total of 4,920 damage plus 250, and we should be at 5,170. And so we're gaining a total of 1,034 from these arms, not what it says. But nonetheless, it makes these arms super good for damage dealers and also healers, because they do benefit from this said damage. It doesn't say, but healers will increase their healing by increasing that number. However, you want to find out to what extent does it give you the damage bonus. When is it going to give me 20% and when is it going to give me less? Well, let's for example jump to Dragon Hunts. Here we only end up with a 14% damage boost. It's actually a little bit less than that. It's just rounded up. Again, the tooltip is a bit in error. It does not show it correctly. But how can you tell when it's going to give 14%? When is it going to give me 10%? When is it going to give me the full 20%? When are these really good? Well, I've done the math and I've checked it all out. So for example, in Dragon Hunts right here, we have that 92,654, but we are scaled down to 55,000. Looking at the math then here, if this is 55,000, our arms are giving us 13.69% total damage gain. And this is multiplicative damage. All of our damage will be multiplied by this, which is pretty much everything. So yes, we're not gaining the full 20%. When would we gain the full 20%? Well, when we're in content that is below half our maximum item level, below half what we have as a player. So if we're scaled down below 46,000, you can see we'll still gain the 20% damage boost. As soon as this is 47,000, you can see we no longer gain the full 20%, and it's going to decrease all the way up to your 90,000, where you'll gain basically no benefit then if you're being scaled such tiny amounts. Then it's not any point running these arms. You're better off being not scaled and just gaining your full damage. To look at the math on that, for example, if we compare a 20% damage buff here versus the Astral Arms, how they affect us, you can see, it's a lot better with the Astral Arms than having a 20% damage buff. Not that we can have any arms that would give us that, but the way I was thinking was working before was it was giving a damage buff, as it's kind of implies in the tooltip. But no, that's very surprising and very neat that it gives actual base damage, which also makes it pretty powerful. It's always going to give you the full 20% if you're scaled below half your maximum item level. The full extent of the Astral Arms is ultimately this, 20%. Just total damage gain. It's huge. But of course, if you're not scaled, then yeah, there's no difference. And if you did have damage buffs while you're not scaled, you can see those damage buffs would give you like 12.5% extra damage. And that's why you can see the astral arms giving a full 20% and an actual multiplicative 20% is huge. So whatever you read on the tooltip there, you can see like 14%, it's actually giving full 14%. Not stacking with your other damage buffs, just multiplying everything by 14%. It's a huge gain. And I must say, you don't want to miss out on those. But like, how are you supposed to get them? Well, you can buy them here in Wild Space at this vendor, but it's a lot of currency. You can buy them for any class as well. Unfortunately, they bind on pickup characters, so that's kind of silly. But you can see what you need there. 100,000 astral diamonds, 450 buzz jewels, and 55 Xeraxian marks, and you can purchase them. Again, they are very good for healers as well. They're giving that base damage, which is multiplicative. You're just going to be multiplying all your heals by the amount it says on the tooltip for you. A lot of content in this game is scaled. The only time it's not is when you're in zones questing, and the rest of the queues are scaled except for like master content. Vault of Stars not scaled, and then in the trials you have from Tower of the Mad Mage down through the master ones. But a lot of you will be doing your random queues, and everything in there is scaled. And in most cases, if you're above like 80,000 item level, you'll be getting a full 20% damage with that. Not something you might want to miss out on. As a newer player, you can go and grab them right now because you can start the campaign at any point of your item level. Just be aware, you don't have to buy them from this guy. You can get lucky and they'll drop for you when you kill guys in invasions. So this meter has to fill up, and then you're going to your invasion map and you're killing those mini bosses. You can open your map and you'll find where they are. This is the invasion location. You can hop instance to jump into other instances where they have their invasion activated, and you could get those arms to drop for you from those lieutenants, from those bosses. I would do it before the module is over, just so that the zone isn't so dead, but we never know, we could get an expansion to this area, like hunts or something, which will retain people in Wild Space, but I don't know. Module 28 is still like 2 months away, and should go to the preview server like a month before going to live, so we can probably expect to see what's up with Module 28 next month, mid-February or something. But again, do not miss out on getting those arms. They're a huge bonus. When you get your item level nice and high, it is really well worth having these for even just your random queues and then things like dragon hunts. The benefit is just massive. A true 20% damage gain. A special thank you to all of these channel members for their added support. You can support me by clicking the join button down below for as little as €1 a month. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.